Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Megan Aldridge and I'm a writer and a proofreader. I post videos on Tuesdays about bookish things, writing advice, grammar, and more. And occasionally I post bonus videos on Fridays. Currently, I'm working on my debut novel, which is a dark fantasy historical romance entitled Queendom of Chaos. I'm going to share words with you that you need to take out of your manuscript. These words are either used as filler words to fill space on the page without adding any value or changing the sentence whatsoever, filter words that can be changed to more effectively show the story, redundant words, or they're plain boring and overused. While these words may be perfectly fine to use in everyday speech, they shouldn't be in your novel outside of some character dialogue. If you are guilty of constantly using words over and over again throughout your manuscript, utilize the Find and Replace option on your computer. For Microsoft Word, that's Control+H. Or you can go to Edit and scroll down to Find and Replace on Google Docs. You will save yourself a lot of headaches by using this search feature. So let's start with transition words. These are words such as first, second, next, then, finally, or in conclusion. This is not an essay. The way that you write should naturally transition your reader from one scene to the next. So these words are really only serving as a distraction to your reader and make you look like an amateur. Began. Consider if the action you're describing is completed or has been interrupted before you use the word began. Instead of saying, he began to walk toward the door, you can just say, he walked toward the door. This is the same meaning and you've tightened up your sentence. But what about, he began to walk toward the door until his knee gave out and he collapsed on the spot. In this instance, he did not complete the action, he only began it. Amazing. Amazing is one of those words that is so overused, it started to lose its own meaning. Look for a more powerful or impactful word for your description. Instead of saying, the cake was amazing, use a word that properly describes the cake, like delicious or delectable. These words fit the theme of the sentence much better, and you avoid an overused word. Like. Unless something is being compared to something else or you favor something, like serves no purpose in a sentence. He is like so tall is a sentence that should never exist unless one of the teenagers in your book is talking. Look. You may not need to eliminate this word completely, but you can certainly reduce its use. Try stronger descriptors like gazed, stared, scowled, or peered. Down or up when following the words sit or stand. If the action is standard, you don't need to clarify. The usual use for the word stand is to stand up. So unless you're standing up for something you believe in, you don't need to add the word up. Same goes for the word down. Typically, people sit down. So unless you're sitting up in bed, you do not need to use the clarifier. Simply. I'm not even sure what this word means. If something is simply marvelous, then isn't it just marvelous? This is a word that literally only serves the purpose of filling up space on a page. Felt. This is a filter word that can be taken out when you show rather than tell. Instead of saying, he felt angry, you can say, his blood boiled. Went. Try using a stronger word. Instead of saying, I went to the store, you can say, I walked to the store. Changing the verb gives your reader more clarification on the action. Redundant phrases. These are unnecessary, as they can be scaled back to one word to mean the exact same thing, which helps you tighten up your writing. Some examples of redundant phrases are each and every, end result, join together, revert back, and ask or answer a question. So, here's another filler word. So adds absolutely nothing to your sentence and can either be removed or swapped out for a more accurate word. The bread was so old could instead just be the bread was stale. Suddenly. While this is supposed to be a fast-paced word, it actually serves the opposite purpose in your story. All it does is slow down the pace of a scene or a sentence and can take your reader out of the moment. Suddenly, a man jumped out from behind a bush and yelled at me. would be much more surprising and horrifying to the reader as, "A rustle came from the bushes. I peered inside, expecting to see the squirrel that had just disappeared behind, when a raging lunatic popped out and yelled in my face." That. If the sentence keeps the same meaning and still makes sense after removing the word that, you can just delete it. "The library is the place that I love to go after school" is the same as "The library is the place I love to go after school." Just. Here's another word that can be removed 9 out of 10 times and keep the exact same meaning in the sentence. It could be appropriate to say, "He just ate breakfast," as it's helping describe the time of when the man ate. But the word just is useless in a sentence like, "It was just too much to handle." Removing just keeps the same meaning. Very or really. If you are using these before a word, you're not using a strong enough word. Rather than saying, "The man talked very quietly," you could use the stronger sentence of, "The man whispered." In order. The phrase you see most with this is "in order to," which means the same thing as "to." "I climbed the mountain in order to see the view" is the same as "I climbed the mountain to see the view." Again, you want each word you use in your novel to have a purpose, and "in order to" doesn't fit the bill. So there you have it, words or phrases that you should be removing from your manuscript. Please make sure to give this video a like and subscribe for more bookish related videos. I post every Tuesday with the possibility of bonus videos on Friday. Thank you for being here, and I'll see you next time. Bye!